After a dramatic incident at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, NASCAR finds itself at the center of controversy as an investigation uncovers a radio hack targeting Bubba Wallace, along with highly racist comments. Everyone in the racing industry is in shock, and the question that is on everyone's mind right now is, what actions will NASCAR take to confront this awful incident? And what did Wallace have to say about this? Stay tuned to find out what will happen next in NASCAR. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. When the news came out that NASCAR's only black driver in the Cup Series, Bubba Wallace, had been the target of a racist act, it shocked and confused people who like cars. Wallace's celebrations after NASCAR's All-Star race, where he came in second place, were ruined by an awful thing that happened with a hacked radio broadcast. As the sound of the engines died down at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina, a hateful voice broke in and ruined the mood. The first voice yelled, "Go back to where you came from, you expletive." Seconds later, another voice said, "Suck it, you are not wanted in NASCAR." Jeff posted a not safe for work audio clip of the event on Twitter, which quickly got a lot of attention. People wanted to know what security measures were in place and what NASCAR planned to do about the harassment of its only black driver. It wasn't the first time Wallace had been treated so horribly, but it was a frightening reminder of how deeply rooted racism still is in sports. Wallace's path in NASCAR has been far from easy. He was born in Alabama and grew up in North Carolina. Throughout his career, he has gone against cliches and pushed the limits. At the truck race the day before, he was booed by some fans, which made one reporter wonder how he deals with those who don't like him. Wallace didn't let the negative comments get to him. Instead, he responded with strength and pointed out that real character goes beyond looks and opinions. Wallace said, "It happens every week." When asked about the bad reactions, he turned the situation around on the reporter and asked, "How does it make you feel?" The answer was an honest statement that they didn't feel good about it. During the conversation, someone complimented Wallace's work, and he thanked them for their kind words. When asked about how the constant booing made him feel, Wallace admitted that it did, but he took a strong stand, saying, "I mean, yeah, but it's sports. It will always be there." He ended the conversation with a strong statement that said judging people based on how they look was a mirror of them, not him. Fans had different opinions, but many liked Wallace's answer. One fan liked how he turned the question back to the people who were booing, and another liked how he dealt with criticism by saying that booing wasn't just for Wallace and that even popular drivers like Kyle Busch had to deal with it. Another fan told Wallace that his real fans were trying to drown out the boos and that they liked his personality and positive attitude. Some fans thought that the booing was just noise that could spur them on, while others were tired of the constant criticism. Many people like how Bubba Wallace keeps going even though he gets criticized all the time. This has led to conversations about sportsmanship and how to deal with criticism. His charisma, drive, and unwavering self-confidence shine through and make up for any negative emotions he gets. But the trouble wasn't over yet. On Sunday, during the introductions for the $1 million practice race, Wallace was again met with a chorus of boos. The determined driver didn't give up, and he responded with a little fun, deflecting the anger that was coming his way. But it was his statement after the race that got everyone's attention. While being on Fox, Wallace let his anger get the best of him for a moment. He made a subtle but clear motion to someone he couldn't see before talking to reporter Jamie Little. As Wallace talked to Little, watchers who were paying close attention saw him briefly raise his left hand and stick out his middle finger. Quickly, rumors and questions spread through the racing community, which led NASCAR to look into what happened. After a careful look, NASCAR surprised everyone by deciding not to punish the skilled driver from 2311 Racing. Fox's Bob Pockrass said that the racing authority decided that Wallace's action wasn't meant to be mean, but was instead a friendly motion towards someone not on camera. This choice is interesting because in the past, NASCAR drivers who used the middle finger in the same way were fined and punished. In 2005, when Shane Meal made the move at Dale Jarrett, he was fined and lost 25 points. Wallace, on the other hand, will not have to face any of these consequences. He will be able to walk away from the All-Star race unhurt after driving his number 23 Toyota to an amazing second-place finish. NASCAR's announcement has gotten fans and experts talking about how different events have been handled over the years. Some fans, both online and offline, would later try to take advantage of this moment of frustration and use it as a reason to defend the awful radio hack. the things that happened to Wallace are just another part of an all-too-familiar story of hatred and racism. Wallace has always faced the sport's deep-rooted problems head-on. He has spoken out in support of the Black Lives Matter movement and called for the Confederate flag to be taken off NASCAR tracks. In return, he has been hit with a lot of criticism and even false charges, like the investigation into a noose-shaped rope in his garage stall, which some people tried to say was a hoax. But if there was ever any question about Wallace's place in NASCAR, he has shown over and over again how important he is. Wallace is a force to be reckoned with. He has some great finishes, including 2 second-place finishes at the famous Daytona 500, and he has won a number of races. Just in the 2023 Cup Series races, he has already gotten 3 top 5 and 4 top 10 wins, which should silence any doubters left. Wallace's journey isn't just about racing. It's a sign of strength, rebellion, and the never-ending quest for improvement in a sport that still has its own problems. As the radio hacking case goes on, the whole world watches with bated breath, hoping that justice will be done and that the road ahead will be one of acceptance and openness. What are your thoughts on the racist comments made about Bubba Wallace? Do you think Bubba Wallace deserved it? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. Although Bubba Wallace's attempt to win $1 million on that fateful Sunday at North Wilkesboro Speedway was unsuccessful, he was still able to take satisfaction in 23XI Racing's strong performance and was happy for the team's overall result. When asked about his second-place finish in the NASCAR All-Star race, Wallace said, "We won better than the rest." If things had been different, his number 23 Toyota Camry's speed and ability could have helped him win. Kyle Larson, on the other hand, was an unstoppable force. He led the race for nearly half of the 200 laps, and no one could catch him. Larson was winning by 4.5 seconds over Wallace, but he already had a 12-second lead at the halfway point. Wallace said, "Larson was lights out. They've been getting it right pretty much the whole season, so coming in second isn't a bad thing when compared to them. But coming in second in the All-Star race sucks. You don't have anything with you." Wallace was still proud of his team and the strength of their Columbia Toyota Camry, even though they lost. He talked about long-term plans and how they thought their strategy would work, especially after his first lap in practice. Wallace thought that if they had more time to tweak their car before the race, they could have closed the gap and given Larson a run for his money. Wallace and his team needed to stay competitive and make sure they had a good finish if they wanted to keep their momentum going. The sense of teamwork was boosted by Tyler Reddick's third-place finish, which also added to the general sense of satisfaction. Wallace and Larson both used the same tire approach, and their results were about the same as they moved through the field. During the early caution on lap 16, both cars were among the few who took the chance to pit. Larson showed off his skills by racing to the front in just 34 laps. Wallace, on the other hand, needed a bit more time to get back to second place on the track, which he did by the halfway flag on lap 100. Larson and Wallace didn't change much as the race went on. After the last round of pit stops, they were still in the same places. In the first parts of the race, there were no big crashes, arguments, or changes in who was in the lead, so it was a calm but competitive end. Wallace said that the experience was fun, and he especially liked learning how to pass other cars and control the speed. He thought the race was a romantic throwback to the early days of the sport, like a throwback to the 1990s. Wallace got the best finish of his career at the All-Star race on Sunday night. This shows that he is becoming more important and has a lot of promise in the NASCAR world. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.